you get that thing? Did you get that thing? That I sent you.
He's been everywhere, flying through the air. He is everyone's friend. He will always land, just to lend a hand. He's a friend to the end. Peter Potamus has a charm he could never conceal. It's time to meet Peter Potamus. R.I.P.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? Dwayne The Rock Johnson saga marches on. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me this week is Pooh Bear Joe Vekeman.
Hey, Pooh Bear. I'm Pooh Bear.
You're just Adam Sandler being Pooh Bear.
This is like Canteen Boy. I don't know.
It's just. I guess I have that Vincent D'Onofrio movie in my head now, having watched it last night
that's
before
a good
bed.
character name.
Well, he has no nose. That's why they call him Pooh Bear. Does that help explain anything to you? Because that's how the movie explained it. Okay, we're not talking about Salton Sea though. We're talking about what movie are we talking about this week, Joe?
Empire State.
That's true. It's interesting they called it Empire State, considering the company they rob is Empire, but we'll worry about that later. Yes, The Rock's oddly positioned direct-to-DVD film Empire State. Joe, why don't you give us a plot summary of this film, we'll call it.
Yeah, this mess. Two childhood friends plan to rob an armored car depository, but an NYPD officer stands in their way. He doesn't really stand in the way that much because he's barely in the movie.
Not quite. It's sort of an interesting... A lot of things stand in their way. Mostly, I don't know, one guy's sort of own incompetence and some mob dudes in the end.
Yeah. Let me just do the box office really quick on this because it wasn't released domestically. It was just a straight-to-DVD movie. But it made $1,212,000. It's not bad, right?
I guess.
For this shitty
that's as much as the Salton Sea made, Joe. How much budget did this movie have?
Ooh, let me see. But first of all, let's talk about who's in this movie, huh? Because on the cover we have front and center Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They even open the movie. More than 15 minutes.
They even open the movie with him, so they're like, "Don't worry, he's coming. Yeah. Stick around. Yeah, he'll be here.
Don't worry." And then lame Hemsworth.
Yeah, did he need to do this movie at this time? Was he not anybody yet? Because I don't know. I feel like he would have been big
Hemsworth.
By now. Yeah.
No, lame Hemsworth was in one of the biggest blockbusters of the year before called The Hunger Games. I found that out because Tanya told me. Also starring in this, right on the cover, right behind The Rock, is Emma Roberts, who I think is in this movie for 45 seconds.
Yeah, who was she in this movie?
I don't even know. She was just in at the end. I think that's is that his girlfriend or something?
Oh, that's the waitress?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so bad for that character because every time she pops in the screen, I say, oh, this movie doesn't utilize you properly. They don't even care about you. They're just like, here's the woman.
Are we thinking of the same person?
I think so.
Emma Roberts is the niece of Julia Roberts, and she's in this movie for 40. She's in the last scene.
No. She's in 3 scenes, Joe. Well, no, 4 scenes. Right? He shows up at the diner a little bit. Peter Potamus shows up at the dining room a little bit at the beginning. Then, she comes over their house, right before weird dude comes over with bad ideas. And then, the police go to her at the diner, and they're like, hey, can we look in that weird dude's locker? And then, then at the end, he's like, the money's in the statue, which I didn't need. The characters clearly didn't care. And the movie's like, well, look at the credits. They're rolling over that statue. Remember that statue from the beginning? We're so clever. And there you go. And then the movie ends, and they're like, the money was never found. And I'm like, okay, so...
Yeah, they kept mentioning I can't remember the name. It's like the Lu Patanza.
Who?
There was a robbery. They mentioned it's in the Goodfellas movie. It's the big heist at the end of the Goodfellas movie where it's like the biggest heist in like the history of this country, I think. And then this is like the second biggest one. This one
happened first.
This one did?
This one happened first, and then the Goodfellas. Because this one happened, looks like in the early 80s, maybe the late 70s.
Yeah, it's like 82, 83.
And that Goodfellas one happens in the late 80s, early 90s. So that makes sense. But also, I hear $8 million at the beginning, and they're like, biggest heist in history. And I go, really? That's the big? And I'm like, am I just desensitized by movies now, where like 8 million doesn't feel like anything? When people are robbing in blockbuster movies, it's like $250,000. Like, how much money have the Fast and the Furious people stolen over the years? Way more than 8 million.
Hundreds.
Yeah. So like 8 million, I go like, what do I give a shit about your 8 million? 8 million. Whatever. You're just less fun Pain and Gain, which was already less fun American Animals. So.
Oh my God, exactly. Yeah. Like I was going to say that, like The Rock was in another robbery heist movie the same year, and it was way better. Ugh. So the budget on this was $11 million.
11 million?
11. It does not. There's nothing on the screen. I don't see any of it.
Yeah, I guess you're paying for The Rock. I don't know. Like what? I'm trying to figure out the timeline of when The Rock and I guess this Hunger Games guy, when they would have done this. And like what decisions happened where this movie was like, well, let's just put it on DVD. Because, especially considering some of the Rock movies we've seen, feels like a regular movie.
Yeah.
I'm actually, other than the credits, the opening and closing credits, which scream low budget, it just feels like a regular sort of movie that you would see in a theater and quickly forget.
Yeah. Like production company Grindstone Entertainment Group, EFF.
Yeah.
Kind Hearts Entertainment.
But it's like something you would just sort of build in After Effects and be like, boop, there it is. There you go. So I don't know.
But the cover and the advertising apparently worked because at least it made $4.07 million in DVD sales. And just DVD sales.
That's a lot more than Salt and Sea made, and that was in theaters, Joe. Just saying.
This is probably straight to DVD, but also straight to like the bargain bin at Walmart for $5.
Which makes it even harder, right? Like a movie ticket, you get like 11 per. But yeah, $5, $4, $1. Like that's what this movie's pulling out. I think just right, The Rock was in 4 movies that year, and you're like, oh, cool, a new Rock movie. I must have missed this at some point. Thinking it had come out a long time ago, not realizing this movie's a new release and a blot on The Rock's, I don't know, career. It's not even that bad of a movie, actually.
It's just apparently he's second billed on Letterboxd and he's third billed on Wikipedia. That's crazy. That makes no sense because the actor, what's his name, Nicole Angar. Yeah, that guy should be second billed.
I think
easily second billed. Eddie.
I think this is a movie where like you had The Rock, but he wasn't anybody, or wasn't that big yet because he didn't have this year when you made it. And you had Liam Hemsworth. And now you have these two guys that just sort of exploded. And you're like, sweet, now we can release this. Haha, we've got our distribution plan. Like, I bet they made it and nobody wanted to buy it and distribute it. And they're like, why? And they're like, yawn. And so, here we are.
Yeah. So the production, it says the film was set and filmed in Toronto, Queens, and New Orleans between May 2012 and June 2012. So what's that, like max 8 weeks? That seems pretty long, actually.
That is pretty long for, like, Donnie Darko was made in 30 days.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff. I can't believe, to detour us a bit from this movie, when you sent me that article where they want to do a Snyder's cut of Southland Tales, I just have to protest. Do not touch...
Not Snyder.
Do not, yeah. A Snyder-like cut. To which I say, Richard Kelly, it seems like you got what you wanted from what I was gathering when we watched that movie, so I don't know what you would change now. You already did the one you wanted to do. Second, do not tamper with that, because if you pull out any card from your delicate house of cards, the whole thing is going to be tumbling down. You got lucky. Don't push it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, it's standing up with popsicle sticks and glue. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, what do you do? You're not going to make it better. You can only make it worse.
So when this movie first started and it had like that like retro like news footage, I'm like, all right, I'm in. And then it started like out so hard.
Yeah, it opens on The Rock and then goes to 3 months earlier. And I go, I don't want to do this frame device again. And it didn't even matter. It was clearly a way of being like, here's The Rock. He's a coming. And thank God they put that in there because it takes like 30 minutes to get to him. And then it takes another 20 minutes to get to him seriously.
No, I checked. I clocked it 43 minutes.
Yeah, man. Halfway through the movie.
Thank God I watched this free on the Roku channel. The Rock's character's name in this movie is James Ransone. And also, actor James Ransone is in this movie as another character.
I did not know that.
So fucking weird.
That is very odd. Mm-hmm.
Why have him with that name so close, and then cast that actor that's his real name? Weird. I would be pissed. I'd be like, my name's almost that name. Let me have that part. I don't care if it's a fucking Rock.
Yeah, the movie's weird. I agree with that. So the Rock first shows up because, Peter Potamus is at a bank robbery or something, and his partner gets shot defending this money that they're going to later steal. Mm-hmm. Peter Potamus feels bad, so he steals $25,000 because he wants to give some of it to the victim's wife. So by some, it looks like $1,500, not a majority of the money. They then go clubbing, and that sort of begins the rest of the movie. His partner looked like, I don't know to you, Joe, did he look like he was in his 50s to you?
Are you talking about the guy who looks like just your regular character actor dude?
Yeah.
Okay. I seen that guy in a million places. Yeah. But then when I looked him up, I'm like, maybe I haven't, but he's just got that guy face. I want to, let's see.
Yeah, so this guy sort of showing Liam Hemsworth the ropes and teaching him how, essentially giving him all the clues to be like, here's how you could rob the place if you wanted to because we're poorly managed. But then he gets shot. Then he gives his money to the guy. Looks like he's 50. Liam Hemsworth then goes give the money to the guy's wife, and the guy's wife looks like she might be 33. She might even be younger. Inexplicably attractive wife to old man with dead end job. Just sort of bad casting again. You could have put older women in there, get them on the screen, be like, not everybody has to be beautiful to be in the movies, but they did not go that route with this movie.
So do you know this director? Have you ever heard of this director before?
No.
Tito Montiel?
Nope. But he really wanted us to know it was his film.
Yeah.
It's like the third credit in, it's like a Tito Montiel film. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who you are, so I don't care.
Yeah. He did one of his first movies was A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints. Have you heard of this?
No. Well, maybe, but I don't know anything about it.
Stars Channing Tatum, Robert Downey Jr., Rosario Dawson, and Chaz Palminteri.
That first name was Shia LaBeouf. Crazy. That's a pretty stacked cast there.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm guessing it's like an autobiography kind of thing because Shia LaBeouf plays a young Dido.
Oh, okay.
The director.
Well, sounds
and Robert Downey Jr. played adult Tito.
Okay. All right.
So, crazy.
There you go. And then you followed up with this, huh?
One of his most recent movies that's on Netflix, I saw it advertised. It's called The Clapper.
Like the light. Says, clap on.
No.
Clap off. What?
The description is 15 minutes of fame destroys the life of a man who works as a clapper in television. Starring Ed Helms, Amanda Seyfried, Tracy Morgan. He gets like names. It's so weird.
Yeah, I wonder if this is just like a weird little blip.
He also has the credit of doing Robin Williams' last movie, Boulevard. Did you see this one?
I don't know that one, no.
I think Robin Williams plays
The Boulevard.
This is Robin Williams and Bob Odenkirk together. This is crazy.
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah, I watched it. It wasn't good.
Perhaps we... Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. But what are you going to do? Perhaps we'll check it out again in a potential season 3. Here's another interesting thought for season 3 that I had this week that I thought was crazy.
Are you going to say Robin Williams?
No, we already talked about Robin Williams as a maybe. But here's another one. Marlon Brando.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right?
There's some good ones.
That would be a real high to a real low.
What's his last? Is his last movie the? Technically, it's because he is featured in it. It is. It's not like a real performance though. The Superman movie, Superman Returns, in 2006.
Yeah, I don't know if we do that one.
He's only in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, things for us to consider. Just an idea I had this week because I was doing my things, and he popped into my head.
So that's disturbing. That's like a 50-something year career. Fuck that. No.
I really don't think it's that long. You know, it's sort of like Orson Welles where you do a lot for a little amount of time and then like you get these shitty things later on because nobody wants to work with you. I don't know, you could look it up, but I bet he's in less than 20 films that we'd have to watch.
I'll look up right now.
Look it up.
Yeah, we're only doing starring vehicles, right? That's what we're committing to.
I mean, we've done, at the beginning, we've gone and done side films with The Rock and with Adam Sandler. We did Airheads.
Yeah,
but
I would say like more like high build.
Yeah, but like I would do Godfather with Marlon Brando, even though he's not starring in there.
I've only seen the first one.
Well, yeah, he's only in the first one.
We're doing Apocalypse Now, right?
Of course, we're doing Apocalypse Now.
And we do every version of it for a new episode.
No, we don't
right?
do every version.
No. It's in 70 films, but yeah, obviously he's not starring in 70 films.
Yeah.
And they're all there's like documentaries.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
I don't think there would be more than 20 episodes of Marlon Brando we would do. But we can worry about that later. So, I had mentioned earlier that it didn't feel like a straight-to-DVD film. Mostly, it felt like a regular film that sort of got suckered into having to go straight to DVD for any various number of reasons. Obviously, I wish more movies like this would go straight to DVD. Perhaps too many of them clog our theaters. But, then it started me to look up, like, I don't know. When I think of straight-to-DVD movies, I think of, like, Thanksgiving, like really terrible movies. But, like, are there other movies like this that were like regular movies that just sort of didn't make it into theaters? And we got some interesting ones in my research here. Aside from some weird Disney sequels,
yes,
one where I don't know what that one I didn't come across, but like there's a Little Mermaid prequel where like it's just Footloose. Like you find out why Ariel's mother dies, and it's by pirates. Like she gets too close to a pirate ship, and then so her father, so then her father like says, "All right, I'm banning all music, so this doesn't happen again." To which I think, what? Why is that the solution? So then she has to go and sneak away to like a nightclub where the crab becomes a band conductor or something, and like she learns to dance that way. And then there's like a weird like Beauty and the Beast sequel that takes place during Beauty and the Beast, like at Christmas time.
Yeah, the Christmas one?
Yeah, because
it's wretched.
So that seemed like an odd choice to make. There's a Cinderella one where like they conjure up alternate timelines. So you get some weird stuff like that. All right. I'll also do the top 10 direct-to-DVD videos as rated on IMDb by IMDb users. All right. And we'll see if you heard of any of these. Number 10, an extremely goofy movie. Not the one that most people are thinking of, but the one afterwards where the son goes to college now.
Yeah, it's all extreme sports. He's like a skateboarder.
Yeah.
It's great. That's a great movie. I want to watch that right after
number
this.
10. Number 9, Curse of Chucky. This one came out in 2013. I know it's tough to keep them all separate. The Lion King, 1.5. Although
good movie.
Although technically the picture says Lion King 1.5, but the actual name says Lion King 3, Hakuna Matata. Get your story straight, Lion King 1.5.
Hold on.
Which is like a Mystery Science Theater version of The Lion King.
Yeah, you know what that is, right? Like it's The Lion King from the perspective of Timon and Pumbaa. It's great. It's a great movie. It's very funny.
Phantasm 4, Oblivion.
I've never heard that one.
There you go. Ernest in the Army. Ernest still making movies, I guess. The Land Before Time 3, The Time of Great Giving. This might be their version of Thanksgiving. From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter. I didn't know they made 3 of those. Dragon Heart 3, The Sorcerer's Course. Are you noticing a trend here with these sequels?
What's the sequel?
American Pie presents Band Camp, number 1 on IMDb, as voted by the users. Starship Troopers 2, Hero of the Federation.
Wow. Is Casper Van Dien in that one?
Billy Brown, Richard Burgi, Kelly Carlson, Cy Carter.
Doesn't sound like any of the original actors.
No. And now I thought about it. I'm like, what was my favorite direct-to-DVD movie that I ever saw? Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, because I actually have this answer. Because it's a low bar.
Tell me.
Hellraiser 5.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yes. So they made 4 Hellraiser movies, released them to the theaters, and so there you go. But then, for some reason, the studio had other horror scripts lying around that weren't good, that they didn't want to produce, and then thought, what if we put the Hellraiser character into these movies? And they made 5 movies that way. Hellraiser 5 was the first one, but also very interesting. It's like this interior Dante's Inferno into this corrupt cops kind of, I don't know, he like looks into himself, he opens the box with the Hellraisers in it, and like now is like inside his own like little world where he's like kind of receiving this punishing hell. And you get some really interesting places, like his house gets sort of frozen over. There's some interesting done with pacing and noise and music. It's sort of like a surprising amount of effort put into a movie that got released direct to DVD. It has a very interesting kind of appeal and aesthetic to it. There's elements of expressionism in there as well. So I really enjoy it. It's actually my favorite of the Hellraiser movies. It's just sort of a weird, quirky thing that I caught on the Sci-Fi Channel randomly one day, but I've enjoyed it a lot. Do you have a favorite direct-to-DVD movie, Joe?
It feels like a cheat because I don't know if it did get a theatrical release. I don't think it did. How about a little movie starring our buddy Mr. Sandman called Going Overboard?
That might have been a direct-to-DVD. And if it wasn't,
I got it.
It should have been, you know?
I just always remember him just like sitting there, like he's on a boat. He's like standing there on a boat with his hands like to the side of him, just like both of them spread out, just like going, "What is happening? Why am I here on this boat?
Yeah.
Find out."
Fun fact. In that list I was going through at number 16 is a movie called Frozen that came out the same year as the Frozen we're all thinking of, which might have been why it had to go direct to DVD. This Frozen actually stars Shawn Ashmore, and it is about 3 skiers that are in a ski lift, and the ski lift like stops abruptly, and now they're stuck in the ski lift, and I guess it's a horror film or something. Also interesting on this list were The Boondock Saints and Snowpiercer, which actually, I believe, did go to theaters. I know I saw Snowpiercer in a theater, so I don't know why that's on there. And the Boondock Saints, while I can't confirm it, I feel very, very, very strongly that it was indeed in theaters for a little bit.
Rock bad in the movie.
Yeah, the Rock. I don't know if he's bad. I just don't think he's trying. If he was like, I got to work really hard on this film that I'm in for 5 minutes. And like he came up with what he did last movie, I'd be like, Rock, you're bad. This movie, I don't think he cares. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I bet the director was just like, Rock, we want you to act tough in this scene. And he's like, all right, you want me to sing a song? No songs, just be tough.
Yeah. My note was, feels like The Rock is barely in this. Why did he decide to do this? Wasn't his slate full enough already? 4 movies in 1 year? Plus a headlining wrestling angle in the main event of the biggest wrestling show of the year. Something befuddles The Rock's most casual fan.
Yeah, I wonder if like he just had like 2 days free at some point, and like he's like, all right, I'll do your movie.
He was literally in one of the biggest wrestling angles in the last 10 years with the biggest wrestling star of the last like 15 years, because John Cena and him were having this big rivalry online, and then they were like finally like fighting in the wrestling ring for like 3 years. They were just like, and like, yeah, he wouldn't show up to every single like Raw episode, but like he popped in once in a while. So I'm like, how does this guy just like, when does he have downtime? Because he also has like 2 kids at the same time, like, right around. Like, this guy needs to chill out.
Yeah, I don't think
they don't clone you.
I don't think he was on the set very long. I'm sure he was fine. The wrestling thing is interesting. Is that why you think Dave Bautista keeps trying to pick fights with The Rock so like they can have a wrestling thing later on? Is that like planting the seeds for that?
Dave Bautista is, I believe, in his 50s, and he is completely retired. He does not want to do any more wrestling.
Well, The Rock's in his 50s
and I don't
too,
blame him
isn't he?
because I think The Rock is like 49.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll look it up right now. I'll tell you what his age is. Because he was born in the 70s. He was born in 72. So he is 48. He'll be 49 this year.
Oh, well, okay. Good for him. Rudy Giuliani shows up in this movie for 5 seconds to help remind us that it's a real movie. Weirdly, so the movie ends. There's this Mexican standoff between the two friends and the father for some reason. And then the cops come. The cops somehow find them. I guess a gunshot was fired. So the cops find him very conveniently, take him away. Then you get sort of like some real news clip about them capturing the guys. And they're like, yep, we found him with his girlfriend. They were sort of lounging on the beach. And I think, why did you, producer director, put this clip at the end of your film that directly contradicts the scene we just saw where you captured him? Clearly not lounging on a beach with your intent. Why would you take us out of, we all know that these movies are all fudging reality. But then you're just like, hey, we're lying to you. Here you go. That feels like a bold move on the movie's part. We get an interview with the actual Peter Potamus, and he's like behind a desk with news clippings of his burglary behind him, framed on the wall, and he's just like laughing and joking. And I think, well, he doesn't feel very bad about this at all. This isn't the humanist portrait we were getting from Liam Hemsworth that we shouldn't have believed anyway.
Liam Hemsworth.
You know, like it's exactly like what they did in Pain and Gain, where they had to make these characters very sympathetic, but like they robbed banks, they were involved with mob stuff. They weren't really that sympathetic. We have to like them, despite them doing these things for no reason. What, because his dad got fired from a job? Look, he can get another job. Like, it's not like he could work at a McDonald's and do better than cleaning the toilets of this Greek mob boss. I don't know. Like, how great was this pay from the Greek mob boss toilet cleaning job, where that income isn't easily replaceable? And you, if you want to take care of your family so bad, could just kept taking this job, I don't know, that was paying you okay, and you got to sleep at night and have your day. There were ways to make this happen.
He wanted to fire his gun. That's what it was.
And he had opportunities to like, all right, my friend's clearly an idiot, and there's no way this goes right, so I'm just turning you into the police, because you've been nothing but an asshole since this movie began to me. I don't care that there's this backstory that's implied, because we're not seeing it, the audience, so just fucking, just shoot him in the leg, call the police, the end. It doesn't have to happen. And like, he's pissing off like all these the Colombians are getting pissed off for some reason, the Greeks are getting pissed off, and like all those storylines just sort of disappear. They're just gone. The Greeks want him to find the money. He gets captured, and the Greeks are like, all right, well, we don't care about that guy anymore. And they've moved on. The end. As long as we don't care about. But you know, overall, it's just regular. It's just a regular movie. I say so what at the end. Didn't need any of this.
It's so bland. I didn't care about any of these characters at all.
Yeah, it's a very generic movie. I'm actually grateful that it went to DVD and not to the theater, because I don't think you need this there. Like many of the movies we've seen from The Rock so far, I don't think this needs to be in theater.
I think the ones that needed to be in theaters are the ones that we've really praised, obviously. Like the ones that feel cinematic.
I don't know. Like, this movie has some okay camera movements. That's why I think it looks regular. But like just all of it put together, like I don't care. And the Fast and Furious, I kind of get. I'm not sort of a fan of them, but I get why you would want to put that in the theater. I get why you would want to put that in the theater. They're big, they're loud. You want all that kind of kineticism floating around everywhere. But you know, Journey 2. Surprised that wasn't a direct-to-DVD sequel, akin with all the others we've listed so far. Probably should be.
It did look
feels like it should be, but they're like, but 3D, haha. So I don't know. Yeah. That might have been the thing that kept it from being a direct-to-DVD sequel.
Remember it made money?
It made money, Joe. It made so much money. It's really our fault.
Do you know what we're doing next week?
No, what's next week?
Hercules.
Oh yes, Hercules. This is one of the rare Rock films I've actually seen.
Yeah, I checked out the cast because I've never seen it before. Oh my god, stacked cast!
Yeah, I
have
actually
some
don't
interest
remember at all who's in the cast, but save that for next week, and I can be like, "What? They're in here?" That will be fun. I will look forward to explaining why their Greek myth Avengers just doesn't work out, and we'll have a good time. Yeah, I love when I can bring my classical background to the show. I might try to bring another old classics friend of mine as well to help fill in some gaps I may have, and we'll go from there. Yeah, that looks to be a lot more fun than this week. I'm glad we're finally out of 2013, a month and a quarter later.
The longest year.
And hopefully, yeah, what you said, we're past the halfway point of The Rock. That feels pretty good, too.
We're 2/3 in.
Woo!
We have 12 films left currently.
The long winter is almost over. Very excited.
Yeah, fucking god.
Yeah. Don't be dissing on your boy.
But there's some fucking bangers coming up. Like I'm excited. I've never seen Hercules. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's a good movie, but it's certainly more fun than some movies we've seen.
All I want. I don't need to be good. I just need to be fun.
It'll be fun
and entertaining.
It'll be fun.
We for an entertainer, there's a lack of entertaining in the series.
Well, this is right. He's the reverse Sandler, right? So it's a lot of crap and then sort of explodes upwards. So like maybe it's nice that we're out of the dark times here.
Yeah, because I mean we've got a big action movie right next week, and then another big action movie, and then but with stars. Like I'm talking like actual big movie stars. And so that's
this one, we had Liam Hemsworth, and
don't talk about Liam Hemsworth anymore.
And Ben Victor, Remy Ben Victor,
Paul What is his name? He has 3 first names. I sent them to you.
Okay.
Did you see that other movie I sent you? That was a direct-to-DVD movie I saw. It's called The Mark Pease Experience.
No, you didn't.
It stars...
I don't have this yet if you sent it to me.
No, I sent it to you a while ago.
Oh, maybe.
It stars Jason Schwartzman, Ben Stiller, Anna Kendrick, straight to DVD in 2009. That's insane. Those are mega stars.
Was Anna Kendrick a mega star in 2009?
She was in Up in the Air. I believe she was best supporting actress nominated.
Yeah, I forgot she was in that movie.
Was in Twilight. She was huge.
I didn't know she was in Twilight. I thought she was just like Pitch Perfect and like there you go.
I think that was a little after, but still Twilight.
I forgot about those other two. Yeah. Okay. She was not. I actually don't like Anna Kendrick. I don't know why.
You're not a fan.
I don't think she's actually that talented.
I don't know. There's just something that's like,
Yeah, I saw her in this very whatever movie called Cake with Jennifer Aniston, most talented of the Friends stars. Jennifer Aniston, pretty good in that movie. Not very good, but pretty good in that movie. Anna Kendrick, terrible. I don't even know what movie Anna Kendrick was in. Like compared to Jennifer Aniston, she was in like, I'm in a stage play right now. I'm really and maybe that was the goal because it's like Jennifer Aniston's kind of like made up thing, like she's imagining Anna Kendrick being there, and so like this is maybe how she's imagining Anna Kendrick talking to her and how Anna Kendrick would feel about her, and it's cartoony and played up. I don't know. I guess I could give the director a little credit, but I haven't believed Anna Kendrick in a lot of other things I've seen her in either. So that's my thought on her.
The only thing I liked her in was Up in the Air. That's it.
Yeah. And I don't know.
And I don't even know about the anymore.
And then I think she was fine. Like that nomination felt undeserved. I think it was just because it was a movie most people had seen, and they're like, all right, who's a woman from that? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but also it was like we didn't know that was like her one trick.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Like there's the problem with the Academy Awards is like it always is about like what the voters have seen, and the voters don't see as many movies as perhaps they should. There's a reason why Pixar wins every year, and it's not always because they're the best films. It's because that's just the only animated film these people have seen. Because the other ones are like weird or underground or from around the world, and they're not really good at consuming that kind of media. So,
have you seen Wolfwalkers?
Wolfwalkers?
I think that's what it's called.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's an animated movie that came out this past year.
Oh, okay. I've not seen it.
You know there's going to still be Oscars this year?
Oh, for the 5 movies that came out? Well, that'll be good. I look forward to Tenet winning everything by default.
You're going to be wrong on all that. I'm talking about Netflix movies.
I guess that's true.
Netflix ruled.
I forgot we pay attention.
Amazon.
Netflix makes so many great movies that we all forget about 2 weeks later.
There you go. There's some Wolf Walkers for you. Whenever these send. I don't know if it's because you're on the internet right now.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm trying to think now what my favorite Pixar movie is. I don't know. I like the first half of the robot one.
Wall-E?
Yeah, I like it when no one's talking and it's him by himself. I like that. I think that's some smart stuff they did there. I think I like Bug's Life, but only because of who that cast is.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's like I like all the. It's like a send up to like who's who in '90s television. Like it's my dream cast.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin Spacey's in there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Well, he plays a villain.
He plays a villain along with Brad Garrett, '90s sitcom star.
Yeah.
Dave Foley, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, David Hyde Pierce, obviously, Dennis Leary. Like, it's a dream team you have there. Where's that sequel? Where's that unnecessary sequel going to happen? Why do I have 8 Cars movies, but only 1 Bug's Life movie? And Ants, Woody Allen's ripoff.
Oh, Ants with Stallone? Oh, God. Woody Allen and the Sylvester Stallone reunite from Bananas.
The dream team. All right. Well, I think we've spent enough time not talking about Empire State. I think we can wrap up.
Yeah. Last Looks?
Last
don't
Looks?
Watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it. Last Looks, like, I'm really fascinated with when The Rock signed on to this project. We know when it filmed, but did it take, like, forever to get the money to shoot it? To get in, like, did he do it in 2010? He signed on, or 2009, and it took a while? Because like, for independent movies, Joe, what? No, that's when they shot it. But, like, for independent movies,
all the funding for it.
Yeah, like it can take 5 to 7 years to make an independent film. So he legitimately could have signed on in 2009 or so when he still was trying to climb up.
Do you think he was like? Hold on. Do you think he was like 2002? I'm like, oh, Scorpion King, big star. Let me get on to this. I know, but this little indie director. He hasn't made his first movie yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
I don't think it was that soon. But I don't know. Like, he signed on early enough, and then. Like, they're like, hey, The Rock, we know you're a big guy now, but we can get you in and out in 2 days. 2 days. And he's just like, yeah, might as well.
Hell yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe it's still part of this shot.
$9.8 million.
Yeah, maybe it's still part of the shotgun effect. Maybe he didn't yet know he was going to be back in the next Fast and the Furious film. I don't know. Like, this one is sort of the most puzzling one so far because it's sort of the oddest choice. I just think it's the one we know the least amount about its timeline. It could be deceiving to think 2013, end of this big year for The Rock, but I think there's more to it than just that and when it's shot. I think there's a little more behind the scenes story there. If only we had like DVD commentary that could kind of explore all this. Do you own? You don't own this. You watch this on the Roku?
Yeah, I would never own this.
Okay. Well, then, there you go. So there's our last looks. Joe tells you, dear listeners, that it's all uphill for the next 12 films. So look forward to that, everybody. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Polly Pockets. Not the one you grew up with. No, this is, in fact, pocket-sized birds, parakeets to be exact, that fit in your pocket. Take them wherever you go. Annoy people in line to get them to leave so you can move up ahead. Polly Pockets. They're bite-sized. Don't eat them. And, of course, we'd like to thank our audio producer, Lev Van Rensselaer, the audio maven, making the sounds you are craving, pushing those knobs and dials to make us sound oh so slippery sweet. And, of course, we'd like to thank my co-host, Joe Vekeman, for joining us again. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
And I am your host, Patrick Scale. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, behind-the-scenes footage, animations, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and presumably social media with a similar-sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
Con el corazón de perro, Señor. El diablo con dinero. It may not surprise you, but all of us despise you. Please die and fry in hell. You rotten rich or
An unrelated news. Simpsons this season, uncharacteristically kind of knocking it out of the park, for what was expected. I know. Had some really great episodes this season. We had one that only had Bart for like a half a minute, and then no other Simpsons family members. We just followed Skinner and Chalmers on a road trip.
Okay. I might need to watch them.
And it was actually very good. And I've been sort of lamenting for years. I'm just like, you've got 1,000 characters we know so little about, and you always have to kind of get hamstring and tie it to these other characters, these Simpsons characters, and force them in there because we need, you've paying them so much goddamn money, those voice actors, you got to obviously, put that on the screen. Well, so what their creative way around that was just have these voice actors voice random people that Skinner and Chalmers kind of run into. So like Homer is like one of these other teacher people, and the Lisa voice actor is like this improv troupe person that they run into. Marge's voice actress is just like a turkey that's on a plane. Like they just sort of find interesting ways to do that. And then there's like an episode after that, which is like from, I don't know, Ellie Kemper's point of view, where she's an executive at Hallmark and they have to make a Hallmark movie in Springfield. And her story plays out like a Hallmark movie, where she goes to the town and thinks like her big city ways are so much wiser than these dumb backwards yokels. But she's like in Springfield, which is already a crazy town anyway. And she's like dating Chris Parnell, who's a successful city surgeon, but then like starts to get charmed by Skinner. Like they have like that sort of Hallmark Christmas kind of romance. And like the music on there is a perfect blend of what you would hear in those terrible movies, this sort of just like throwaway sound cues. And then the one last week was like, comic book guy, his wife wants to have children and like he doesn't want to, so you find out his backstory, and its backstory is told in like a Wes Anderson style movie, and Bob Balaban narrates it. It is like great. There's some good stuff happening this season.
I'm gonna check this out now.
Check out these
awesome.
These out on the Hulu. There's some pretty good episodes in here. I was impressed. I don't think they're ever gonna hit peak Simpsons, circa 93 to 99, but yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah. I don't know. If this is what we get from now on, I'll take it.
All right. Yeah. When Chris Parnell, that's the actor who voices the character Jerry on Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've only heard him do one voice, and that is the voice of Jerry.
Yeah.
Does he sound like Jerry?
Yeah. That's all he does. That's all you bring him in for.
His voice.
Yeah, he does Jerry, he does Fly, Butler, Fish Butler with that Adam Sandler animated film, Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
Like that's all he does. He does the one thing. That's why you bring him in, to be generic everyman. And
you know what? He's so damn good at it. I'll take it every day. My favorite character on that show. I love him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's so great. That's exciting. I'm gonna watch some of those.
Watch some of those. They're very good. Having watched The Simpsons since 1997, I never thought. I've been sort of watching it just out of habit now, but like I don't know. Yeah, a couple episodes I sort of were paying attention. They had actually a really good kind of spoof on Roman life that was sort of fun for people who know classics. And maybe nobody else, so I enjoyed that. So yeah, it's been some good ones this season. All right there, Joe. All right, you want to jump into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.